download too on the website. If folks would folks find it useful for us to make it available for download and link the users?
Great. So our next item on the agenda was comms, communication. So basically, Sean Carrier, who some of us know and love, who's in Italy right now, having a wonderful time, asked if we could do a comms sort of presentation, like options available to us, what we could possibly do so that we could better inform people of their options, and so that we could get a better assessment of like the collective needs of everyone and the places they're coming from. He's not here, he's in Italy, and the other members of the group from Mayday that were working on comms, some of them are here. I don't know if they want to present anything or not. Yeah. So maybe I could get a better understanding. Is Sean on there now? Can we get a speaker going and then maybe people can ask? I have a feeling that maybe Sam or someone else here knows something about comms and to talk about at least what's available through Interop. And Sean's on here.
That's so ridiculous.
He's been trolling these meetings. He cares about all of them. Yeah,
they're all here for you, Sean.
I don't think the speakers are strong enough, so someone can interpret for you.
I don't think the speakers are on yet.
So
Sean Carey is on
Let's get down to business.
Skype.
It's 2 a.m. here.
all right. So, Sean, what are our options for communication?
Okay, so on Mayday, and as was a system set out in many previous days of action, and was perfected over time to become something that was at first really that didn't work so well, and was really confusing and not enough people knew about. And we consistently saw that the problem with comms is that not enough people understand it and use it. And comms is communication. It's short for communications, and it is communication. And it should be the easiest possible thing, and it shouldn't be there shouldn't be any fear of the cops are gonna find out what we're doing and where we're moving and stuff.
Sean,
Because,
maybe we could get more specific. What are the options? Internet conference calls, celly loops, etc.
Okay, so I'm a fanatic of this, and even though I've been talking with a lot of people about this, and there are a lot of ideas out there in the ether. Some of them are not come to full fruition, and some of them are in full fruition. So I'm only going to talk about what I know and what I can propose.
Okay.
So on Mayday, we had comms that provided a service for people who were doing actions, and a comms team coordinated actions. There were the 99 pickets that were going on in Midtown, and there was something 40 different things going on all at once, and basically you had an affinity group that watched everything that was going on through a secure comm system that they had set up, and passed information to the groups that needed it. So they kind of had a one-to-one, but also a one-to-many communication going on. So the comms team and an individual who was part of a group, who was part of a picket going somewhere, each group had a comms person on the ground who was like in a one-to-one communication with somebody who was looking at the bigger picture, looking at maps and looking at live streams and what's going on in a lot of other different places. So that they were able to tell them, hey, there's a group 1 block away from you that needs some help, or they need a medic, or they need NLG over there because they're getting kettled. And like all sorts of things that like one person who's in a group, like you can't make decisions and like you can't possibly like filter out what's on Twitter right now and like someone's texting me and like it's all way too much. And it's so this communications AG like provided the service as a container for these groups to filter it out and provide them a service of like being there for them and like, hey, I'm here for you. You tell me what you need. You tell me what's going on, and we'll push it out to the media. We'll say, oh, we just like took over this street and it was great, and we can like worry about putting that out on all the website and the live blog and the press, and like we'll worry about all that stuff, and you guys focus on the action that you want to do, and we'll worry about getting you a medic so that you don't, and we'll worry about calling the NLG and calling in the arrests and stuff so that you don't have to worry about it and like in the pandemonium that ensues, do that.
Okay, so Sean, so maybe it would be helpful to know what, you know, I mean, you messaged me about Twilio and Selly and the advantages and disadvantages. Like that's the kind of, because, you know, people here will determine what needs they have, but maybe they don't even know what's available. So I wanted, like, I think that would be helpful. It's been helpful for me, I think.
Great. So we have a really awesome service that's developed by people who are part of the movement. It's called Selly. It's that 23559 Comm Hub Occupy Alert thing. That's all one service, and there are like lots of awesome things that you can do with it. We can currently send a text message right now to something like 10,000 people on Selly, and it's all free. And the people who created it are really big allies of us. I've been talking with them about creating like anonymous loops that the people who join the loops can't see who's a member of it, so it's secure of like, even if cops like figure out how to get on the loop, they can't see who's messaging, they can't see who's on the loop. It's like totally anonymous, but it has like all of the lightweight usability and security of Selly. If anyone's not familiar with Selly, it's a text loop service. You send a text message to a number, a short code, 23559. It's a short code just as the same as if you use Twitter with your cell phone by text message. But you send a number to a short code and you can join a cell. And basically what it allows you to do is you are with a bunch of people and you know how to use Selly. You say like, hey guys, let's create a Selly. And you text the word create to 23559. And let's call ourselves Bananas. And like, let's all 5 of us get on it now. Okay, everybody get on the cell, great. And we can just like break apart and we can run through the streets and then like be in touch with each other even though we're blocks apart, or if we get separated or anything, and you can do that in like a minute. But you can also have like really big cells that can text everybody who's in an action, like, okay, so everybody get on the S17 NYC cell, and then like we can text everybody who's like, holy shit, some big thing is going on over here, or like, hey, lunch is served in Liberty Square, and you can like let everybody know at once.
Okay. Do people here have questions?
I can take questions.
You can take
Yeah, I'll take questions.
Drew will take questions after this.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right. So, why is there anything else that's really vital information, Sean?
Get lucky.
Everybody's on the text right now because it already exists. And so the way you do it is you pull out your cell phone right now, everybody pull out your cell phone, and you're going to send a text message to number 23559. And the message that you send is going to be @ S17 NYC. It's really easy to remember. Get on that text loop right now. You'll get all kinds of great information about everything you need to know that's vital information, so that we have a way to contact you, so that in case you ever leave and decide, I don't ever want to be involved with OWS again, we're going to reach you back and be like, no, you can't do that, we're pulling you back. So that's important, that's vital.
Okay.
And the important thing is that everybody should get like used to using this, so that you can even if we set up like the greatest comm system in the world with the greatest plan ever, we never know what's going to happen, and it might completely fail, and we might all get arrested in the morning or walking home getting coffee at night.
Yeah.
And
So let's hope that doesn't
everything
happen. Let's hope. Drew's gonna take some
So we should
questions.
plan for it.
What? Drew's gonna take some
so-
questions, okay?
Okay, you good? Thanks, Sean.
Thank you, Sean.
I love you, Sean.
Love you.
See you soon.
Alright.
Yeah, so quickly just to recap, cell loops. Your affinity group can make a cell loop that allows you and any number of people to communicate, to send a text message, and it goes out to everyone in that group. There is a cell loop that's at S17NYC, and a potential use case for this, if people organize around it, is that we could have a cell loop where anyone can text to it. It won't go out to everyone, but it'll go out to a group of people who can then parse that and relay the information that's necessary. I think that a good option would be to have people in Zuccotti Park who are collecting, who when people, people come in and are like, I lost my group, I don't know what I'm doing, and then Zuccotti Park can be the central place where you go and you find out what's going on. And we use this cell loop to push information. Hey, we're being harassed, we're being peddled at this intersection, and then information can go off to there. Another option is also conference calls that allow a lot of people to be on the same phone line at the same time. I'm not sure that there's any real coordination behind any of this, so it would take people actually stepping up and doing this, but this is what's available.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah, please.
Celly loop that Sean said it was to text S17. I missed the
NYC.
S17 NYC.
S17NYC. Yeah.
So before Celly, I have Metro PCS, and I wasn't able to interface with Celly from Metro PCS. Is that still true?
As far as I understand, Celly does not work with Metro PCS. It does not work with Google Voice numbers, so that is a huge detriment.
No Google Map, Google Voice, or
suggestions. What
Metro
we
PCS.
can do
That's actually
is
for you.
if we have people sitting in Zuccotti, we could have them. We can spin up a Google Voice number that people can text into with information that's just like many to one. So a lot of people out in the field just passing information to Zuccotti Park so that it is centralized and it's like, hey, we've got a bunch of pandas laying in the street at this intersection. Send people over if they want to see it. That kind of stuff.
Also, there's a website that you can use. So if you can find an internet connection, like there's one here, you can also check all your Celly messages that have been sent from cel.ly. No .com, but you can go there and you can send and receive them. So if you don't have a phone, you can still access Celly.
Yeah, Celly is available online at cel.ly, and all the information you need to know about setting this up. This is something that any of you can set up with your group. It's really effective in a small group that knows what they're doing. If you all scatter and get separated, you text, hey, meet at this intersection, and then you can all be there. So small crowd, it's very good for organizing small crowds. Any other questions? Is there anyone here that would be super interested in being part of a communications affinity group to manage this?
Okay.
Yes. Come see me after this, and I'll get all your information down and send you some information.
Drew, I have one question.
Please.
23559, Celly. If you're signing up for a number of those, it'll all come in on the same thread, though.
Yes. So the way that it works is you put in your message, if you're familiar with Twitter, and then a name, and that's where your message will get sent to. So it's all being sent to the same number, but the system routes it based on the
Good point,
name
Sean.
that you provide to them. So you can be on like 10 cellies and be getting a lot of information, and it'll say who sent it, on what celly, then the message, and you can reply to that.
So, I need to inform you all that there has been a slight, small police presence that is being dealt with at the moment, and that they want us to leave soon. And it's also just been a long, that's up to us whether or not we stay, of course, but it's been kind of a long meeting so far. So, I'd like to try to wrap up the communications portion of this, and I guess just to encourage groups to think about, like having a comms person in your group, and maybe have even a backup to Celly or conference calls or whatever it is that is helpful that we end up using, like a runner, scout, that sort of thing. People who can communicate, and if all else fails, and yeah. So I guess, I don't know, are there any other, is there anything else having to do with comms that people need to get off their chest?
It's great to have information coming in through all different types of media, because some people don't have phones or whatever. So having also a backup runner, and also maybe also Twitter as well, to have like different lines of it.
There's also someone from Interoc is asking me to Andrea wants me to mention that there's also the option of having a trio of conference calls that are open for days at a time, perhaps, that would let people, like a large number of people, get on and get access to the collective wisdom. So that's another thing that we have access to. I do want to ask, what is our process for determining what we want to happen? That's my only question.
Okay, so we've been meeting now. This is our fourth meeting, and there's some overlap, but there are also a lot of new people. And so basically, we're hoping to come to consensus, to consent to a type of communication structure for the day, which might include different kinds of communication. And I don't know if that can. I'm not getting the sense that can actually happen tonight. So because some people are coming for the first time, and maybe we need to go back to our groups again and think about this more. But we are getting really close to the 17th, so just keep it in mind. Really talk to people about it, so that the next time we meet, which will be here, this coming Friday, same time, that we can actually consent to something, so that we all feel good about it, and it's not like Sean making decisions for us. Because that's what will happen if we don't actually talk about it. So, yeah, that's, yeah.
Could you guys perhaps make a proposal or something, or like make something that's a little as coherent, so then it could be maybe added to or changed, so there's a little less discussion next time? Just like maybe to help the business meeting it.
Yeah, I think that there was a comms, Drew asked if people were interested in doing a comms group. I think that group should meet and draft a proposal. I think that would be a great sort of next step. And yeah, and maybe they can talk to Andrea and Sean and get ideas about how to move forward. Do people feel good about that? How do people feel about that? Cool. Great. So, we were going to get into action agreements, but that is kind of a long conversation.
You can move it to Sakati.
And I don't know how long. I just don't know. Do people want to stay and talk about action agreements?
You can all move it to Sakati.
Okay. That was pretty. Can I get some more participation on that? Do we want to stay? Okay, that's pretty mixed question.
What's the beef with speed? Oh, park.
I think there's a time limit, like like
No.
last
No,
time.
there's no time limit.
No.
Maybe before we get into the next agenda item, we should understand like the context of what's happening.
Sure.
For now.
So, we think because they heard us chanting, security was like, what's going on? They're Occupy Wall Street. Whatever it was, the sergeant here is telling us that we were having a rally and that rallies are not allowed. It's on the sign that you can't have rallies or performances. Yeah, that we are having one, and that we need to leave. It doesn't look like she's going to budge at all on that. Sam is kind of going back and forth. We got her name and badge number. What she's in all likelihood doing right now is, she is, I think, calling for, reinforcements, cars, cops to come or whatever. And we tried to explain that we've seen large groups gathering here before on tours and what makes this a rally, because we didn't have signs or weren't chanting. She said it's a rally, it's a rally, it's a rally. So they think it's a rally. Probably, I would imagine, within 5 or 10 minutes we should be prepared for, cop cars to come and not want us to be here. There's a path right across the street, but that's all the information I can really provide about that.
Let's just go to the other park. That'll be my friend.
All right. So we've been here. It's 8:40.
And the park closes at 10. And she said they might shut it down early.
Right. I don't know. Do you have questions?
It was like a group of, 4 police and 1 white shirt now, like, gathering. And they're like, oh, look at this. And then they got security over there. I'm just gonna go for it. They got 3 security suits, just like regular dudes. A female cop, a white shirt cop, and 4 other cops on the other end of the corner. 2 squad cars on the west end side towards the intersection, and a police vehicle over there on the other side. And from what I see, is just another police officer on patrol on the other side on the east end. So it's just, a little bit hairy. We're still chilling and communicating, whatever the fact that, could be. But so we're debating should you wrap it up, this discussion, because it's been going on for 3 hours, to say something, or hopefully move it to some other.
Why don't we do announcements, and then leave, and
Since some of us want to talk about this, do we perhaps talk about this on Monday? Not since have a conversation.
We can have the Monday spaces are spaces that can have conversations. They're not this is a decision-making body because all the different groups are here. So people can talk about it in whatever space they want, and Monday will be a space where we'll be meeting at. But we should definitely come to the next spokes with something in mind, with what your needs actually are, what you would prefer, and the comms breakout will make a proposal, and that's.
So we've been sitting on action agreements for 2 weeks now, and we haven't been able to either talk about it in detail or make any decisions. I had suggested that we start the next AG spokes next week on Friday with action agreements and try to figure out if we can come up with any sort of action agreements or not, but have that discussion first. And then, of course, Sean had mentioned that we'll talk more about the comms.
No, he wants to.
My suggestion was we might have an action breakout on Monday anyway. Yeah. Perhaps we can have a conversation.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
we're actually okay.
Oh, we're okay.
We're good.
Remember
So
that
the
for
change?
popular assembly.
They changed
When
the
cops come,
because the white suit
do
came.
what we just did. Don't all get up and go. Let some trained facilitators handle the situation, because that's what happened on May 1st.
So now we can actually stay and hopefully discuss more of the action discussions that we want. Hopefully, you know, see what happens.
All of you are going to help me do that.
So now that we're not in any kind of imminent danger of being held, unlawfully, on the side, do we want to stay and have the conversation about action agreements?
It looks like more of
now
a
it's more positive.
more compliant.
Okay. So let's say, all right, we're gonna start with 20 minutes, and go from there. It's 8:45 now.
So we're gonna, I guess, the imminent danger that was like at the moment when like we're supposed to leave because it looked like a rally. Now their police changed their minds and now we're gonna able to stay here and we're gonna bring back the action, the agreements that we want to discuss that are happening at the moment.
Where are you sort of standing? Someone, they're listed on S17 NYC. We also talked about the last week. Someone was here last week. Someone was here. I wanted to talk about that. No, it's an action. That was the action.
What are action agreements? I don't know what that is.
Okay, so an action agreement is basically a list of ways in which groups will relate to each other on a day of action. Like how will they share space, how will they communicate with each other, that sort of thing. And there are things that you would be able to hold other groups accountable to. So yeah, and should really just be based on that interaction. So not like telling another group what to do, but just like how it would relate to what you're doing. That's an action agreement. And so there were about 10 points listed that were roughly based on the same principles that were used during the RNC conversions in 2008. And so we talked about those a little bit last week and the week before, but we haven't actually consented to them in this body. And there have been new people coming in and out, so I just wanted to make sure.
Maybe we just maybe we can start by just reading all of them out loud, and then because everyone came with these suggestions so nicely, it doesn't seem like it.
Sure. Can someone?
Yeah, I can pull them up.
So, okay. So.
Oh yeah, totally.
Someone who has
It's been
a computer
relativity of like it's calm. No new members rolling up yet. It's been the same crew.
Also, we have a request from one of the AGs that the decisions be made, the discussions take place with within AGs, and then the decisions be made as through spokes. So we want to continue that format since this is the spokes council.
Yeah, I'm definitely watching out, like I usually do.
Okay. So
I'm not.
you want to read the ones just the draft ones or also stuff that
Just the draft.
Okay.
So now, right,
So here are
like
the
he's gonna the drafts
draft
of
action
the ideas of the actions.
To help ensure the cooperative nature of this plan, we'll abide by the following agreement. Groups will respect each other's autonomy to plan their portion of the action as they see fit. Groups will refrain from planning actions that will interfere with the intention of other groups. Groups will seek to maintain healthy, constructive communications up to and including the day of action. Groups will seek to resolve any apparent conflicts by initiating direct contact with each other. Trust, respect, and trust and respect. Groups will refrain from disparaging comments about other groups in the press and open OWS meetings. Groups will refrain from marshaling other groups. Groups will refrain from turning other groups into the police. Groups and individuals who take responsibility for intergroup communications or shared resources will be mindful of power dynamics and to observe standing consensus. and groups will respect the agreed upon framework that was described earlier.
So last week we talked about that draft set of agreements. It's loosely based off the St. Paul principles. And there are lots of suggestions to improve it, and I don't really have the energy to go through all of them. And we're here now. So how do people feel about those? And in this conversation, we should really be thinking of the groups that we came with, our affinity groups, and how we're going to, together contribute to this and make our own voice needs known. So, yeah. So, any thoughts? We'll just take a loose stack, I guess, on clarifying questions about the list that was read. Do people need time to break out and talk to groups? Can I get a sense of would people like to break out for another 10 minutes, talk to your groups, and then come back? Can I get participation?
More wishy-washy.
Okay.
We're like not really.
We would like to talk, but we don't think we need 10
They don't feel like.
Okay, 5 minutes? How do people feel about 5 minutes? Okay, that's more positive.
They're more complaining
Great.
about
So,
having 5 minutes to break out groups.
5 minutes to.
So I'm not gonna film that.
Okay.
I'm gonna
One, Billy.
walk away. So they're gonna take a breakout group for 5 minutes, discussion of what the actions they want to do, and the what the agreements were, and I guess go forward from there. I'm not quite sure, I guess basically what actions they're gonna happen and what, so there in that aspect. But yeah, if you wanted me to answer any questions, hit you up. It's been clear to hit you up with Sean, saying like that presence that was here earlier is now literally gone. Even the 2 squad cars that were on the west end are gone. Like, it's pretty much empty. It's just us and the suits are inside that office in this building right here on Broad Street on 125th. Even the foot patrol police are gone on the east end as well. So we're in the clear at the moment. I saw, basically they got the, I guess, janitors, cleaning up crew there on the front of me, at the other across the building from me that are just chilling, and a few other people, pedestrians, hanging out at the park as well. So everything else is pretty clear at the moment. We got 5 minutes of a discussion breakout group. There's, a coach bus over there. That's pretty much it. Everything's pretty low key at the moment. No imminent dangers, nothing whatsoever. And the other 10 or 15 minutes ago, I was going down here at this facility. So how's everyone doing today? Chilling? Relaxing? Hope everyone's good. Hope everyone's having a wonderful weekend. Sorry. Occupied time, man. I feel like everything's a weekend now. Lost track of time, dates, and everything. Except the time for some odd reason. But, yeah, everything's good on my end. I've been working really hard with randomness. But, ranting to people. The 25 people that I have.
I will say,
This is quiet.
this is a lack of energy, exactly.
Oh,
The drink
very,
lack of energy.
totally lack of energy. But you know what? We
She's
might
like, let's break out. They're like, me.
Yeah. Well, the 5 minutes is good, but maybe because we came so late and earlier, I'm hoping, I'm giving the high hopes that the energy over here was just intense and
Yeah.
everyone's really excited about this September 17 instead of this
Yeah.
I've been morphined through the group.
I would like the rest of the world to be excited about S17, and I think
Yeah.
there's a ton of energy. I think it's just these are exhausted activists. They've been working a lot, and
Yeah, I think they are
they're
exhausted
just really
activists.
tired, and a lot of talking. Talking is exhausting. As well.
Yeah, talking
As we
is
know
exhausting.
in
Yeah.
occupied meetings,
Yeah,
so.
yeah. Between you and I, we have So.
Yeah, I was actually,
Quadrillion
that
times.
was for the stream. I'm talking like for the stream.
Yeah.
I'm an Occupy
Hey, I'm just saying in general, you know,
I'm like
content.
trying not to. I'm a live tweeter. I'm trying not to tweet out that like the people are look really lethargic.
Yeah.
But like, 'cause I don't want people to get the wrong idea. It's gonna be awesome.
Yeah. I mean,
awesome.
I think it's gonna be awesome, and like you guys
Go
out
stream
there.
Becky has energy.
Yeah, Becky has energy. I don't know if Becky wants to be seen, but like it should be over there.
Yeah.
You know.
People are there. Sorry.
But hey, guys, if you don't know about one thing, a little cool little YouTube bit, look up Occupy Test. Oh snap! I guarantee you never seen the video. It's on September 1st, not September 17th, but on September 1st at the Federal Hall, and it's a really great. I'm not saying like a fantastic edit or like transcript kind of like documentary of like what is going on with our process of like how we are as Occupy, what's the beginning of it, but it's a really great beginning to the Occupy movement, and it's really like amazing of the people who are there that you wouldn't even expect that were like there on September 1st. And so it's Occupy Test. Look it up on YouTube. I guarantee you didn't see it, because shit, I didn't until like maybe like 6-7 months ago at an Infinity Group meeting. Someone just mentioned it, and guess what? I'm like a computer crazy cat who like loves gear, and I went and looked it up on YouTube immediately while we were having this little discussion about what's gonna happen at this particular moment, and it was insane, and it's really amazing. I'm not saying the videography is all fantastic, but it's down packed perfect ish.
But also, it doesn't matter if you're a day one occupier.
It does not matter if you're a gay. I never said that. See, I never said that. I never seen other
Watch the video.
Yeah, watch the video. Don't appreciate it. Yeah, don't.
So like, it's okay if you came to the movement later.
Yeah,
Come to the movement
yeah. A
today.
lot of people always have this like other side conversations, and quite a few who would feel like, oh, I'm privileged because I got here before Occupy and I started doing things, or day one occupies. It doesn't matter. You come into the movement, you should be respected as an individual, and as long as you're not like a cuckoo, or a disruptor, you're good in my book, and you follow through your chores that you want to do and accomplish, you're good in my book. But there's a lot of people who feel like, hey, and Occupy, like, I'm a day one occupier, look at my shiny badge. I'm like, no, you're not. Yeah. Like, it doesn't matter. You know why? Because where were you in winter? Oh, you weren't there because you were on break. Like you could take a break, step back, step in. I totally believe in that. But don't shine your little badge 24/7 at me with I'm a day one occupier, because I don't. Because I am a day one occupier and I don't care.
You just said this whole thing. You're like, let's not pull that card. No hierarchy. It doesn't matter if you're day one or pre-day one. Like, it doesn't matter.
I'm just saying.
Right. But by the
I'm
way,
counter-globalization veteran. Damn.
And then he's like, but at the end,
I was a Compara Sol, motherfucker.
Right? Like,
that was born. Right?
look at this cool little shirt. It's like a custom-made shirt. Now don't,
Cop watch, man. Hipster Cop even like this shit.
Right? They love it.
He gave me the thumbs
Why was
up.
Hipster Cop?
Should have like a donut and grab.
He was there because of the caravan.
Yeah, the caravan. How was it, by the way?
He's one of our guys.
So what do you think
He's
is up?
at shit all the fucking time.
What do you think is up with those concrete barricades they have down there?
Yeah,
I barely saw it. I was running to just do an errand for Accu-Cap.
No, it looked pretty intense. Are you guys busy now, like because of this?
Incredibly busy. But people got to know that you got to give us notice, because we can only produce so quickly with the materials, machines that we have, and our lack of sleep, lack of food.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we pay. Want to give a shout out? He has like 25 viewers or something. How many?
21 now again.
21.
You're
Yeah, but
25.
the WePay?
Yo,
21.
are y'all loaded? Because I don't even remember my WePay. I think it's like WePay.com/donation/90042. But I think that's or 50042. 50042.
Think of the wrong one. It's like,
Why didn't you get the custom like Accu?
I think that's the Accu-Cappy one. I
Right.
think that might be the Accu-Cappy one. I could be wrong. Because Accu-Cappy, we take donations so that we can make money for free for the movement. We can make stuff for the movement for free.
So tell me about like what have you been like what's the new type of like printing layout, or like you got new different style of flyers? Or are you still doing the
We're doing
same?
a lot of zines and booklets and pamphlets for a lot of different groups, including Strike Debt, including the Anti-Repression Group, which I'm a part of, Mutant Legal Collective, as well as with the overall S17, S15, 16 stuff. And we're using an offset press. We've got a beautiful 50-year-old offset press. That offset press was around before Malcolm X was assassinated. And
You started using that actually?
Yeah,
oh really? Snap.
I just came from like sneezing over the fumes. Believe me, everybody at AccuCopy will be getting cancer for you. I carry a bandana with me all the time, not just for the cops, but actually now for the print press.
Yeah, well, if you want to donate a mask, which is better than a bandana because the fume is still going thin your throat, but maybe a good
toner. Yo, send us some eye units and toner. That is like one of our biggest.
So, are you making any buttons at the time?
We are. We made a bunch for a New York University student food co-op. We actually just made 500. We're making some Occupy buttons, but we make buttons
like anniversary button kind of style.
No, nobody's actually given us any designs or any ideas for something.
Really,
so
that's crazy.
We've been busy enough working.
Hey, if you guys out there, fan folks over there at Occupy, throw some designs out and throw it up online.
Yeah, give us some designs. Even if you don't pay us, we will try to figure out how to fund. If you have some beautiful political racks or designs, feel free to send them. info@occupy.org. That's not Occupy, it's OccuCopy.
OccuCopy. Awesome.
First Workers Cooperative to come out of Agro Wall Street. Now there's 5.
Yay.
Local. There's a catering one, I forget the name. The Street Traders Co-op.
Yeah.
And there's a consulting one that hasn't started yet. So there's 5 Occupy co-ops. That's one of the places we've been.
How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Not allowed to record video.
How about from down there?
Where's the rule?
Huh?
You say you're not allowed to record video?
On this platform, but can I go downstairs?
Technically not recording, it's just live.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. 1, it's not recording. 2, is there a rule that you can show us that?
I'll bring my building manager over here.
But so if I go downstairs, is it fine doing the grassy?
No, they don't allow it.
Okay.
I'm sure they would.
Okay. Well, I was told I can't record, but I'm gonna go against it because I don't care. What am I gonna do? So we're gonna sit down and not record.
Okay. So Ingrid and Dicey, who's actually taking notes right now?
I was taking notes and then also distracted me.
But we're done with that.
Yeah,
Okay.
Sorry.
So I think that was clearly an amendment that could be offered to the existing list.
I couldn't record.
And so I'd like to just keep, I think all the suggestions. Maybe we can just keep a list of the suggestions.
Okay, yeah.
And then if and then try
It's
to
Occupy test, by the way.
the spell apparently. Okay. What? Yeah. Well, is that too? I don't know. If you want. Okay. We'll just. Ingrid's got it. We'll read the rest. Okay. So I'm gonna go.
Can you
with,
repeat that one?
Okay. So the amendment that was offered was about a language issue. That individuals should be included. So it's groups and individuals will be held accountable to these agreements. For each point. Okay. So.
Sure. So we've been discussing this for a couple of weeks now. I like everything that is included so far. That does help improve some of it. The question we had was about the second point, whether we should be reading commitment to nonviolence or any escalation of police into that action overlapping interaction. If it's not specifically included, we would like to discuss as a group agreeing to limitations on nonviolence and property destruction within the actual theater, so within the space we're using and within the space that we're consenting to use that time, 7 to 11. If that's not already tacitly understood to be within that second point, I'll happily draft language for you.
Yes. Okay. So in the things that exist, there is not a specific nonviolent clause or anything like that. There is a diversity of tactics clause, which is based off the St. Paul principles, which basically means that you're going to respect each other's spaces. So if one group wants to do like a non-violent sit down and CD, they can do that. If another group wants to, break windows or, blockade a bank or something, they can do that. So, the idea is that we're not going to interfere with each other's tactics. That's the point of the diversity.
I understand the point. I would like to potentially restrict that.
Yes.
I've been under the assumption that since we're Occupy Wall Street, we have consented to be nonviolent. And thus we don't have to explicitly mention that it's our opinion.
Occupy Wall Street as a body, I mean, the General Assembly and DA have always operated under a diversity of tactics framework. So there's never been a specifically non-violent clause for Occupy Wall Street. I mean, that's been in the media, people talk about that, but we've actually never decided that, just to be clear. So, but I'm going to move on, because I feel like that's a much larger conversation. I'm going to move on and see if there are other suggestions people have, and maybe we can get through those first. Yeah.
Okay, a few potential additions. One, seek to support and protect each other against, okay, I'll stand up.
So, and you're from
I'm from ICU, Insurrectionary Care Unit. Point one that we'd like to add, that we seek to support and protect each other against state and corporate violence to the best of our abilities, such as de-arresting, documenting arrests, getting people's names, and contacting the NLG. Second point, that we not attach people's names to specific actions. In other words, provide any kind of incriminating information about people. Second, that we don't post any compromising documentation of others without their consent. So like posting no videos on YouTube of someone doing something that could be turned against them. Fourth, I guess this is already in there, don't turn each other into the cops. Okay, yeah, I think that's it. And then, oh wait, no, there was one last thing. Basically like a commitment to accountability, so that if people don't live up to these action agreements, that we have a debriefing space after S17 to work out these issues.
Okay. And Ingrid is keeping a list of these, so we'll vision back. Are there any other comments or suggestions people have, any additions?
Speaking on behalf of the group, but I think it was the point of before the healthy communication, being able to come and bring more nuance to what healthy communication might be. There's a group that you said you speak and has been trying to speak into that topic, so making that a little bit more
Thank you.
added. What is healthy communication?
Like, do you have suggestions yourself?
Yeah, like, I think one might be if your critique is necessary or warranted after, during, or before actions, that you are equally as critical of practices, offer people to practice those, because as we are those outside of just bringing critique to practice, not necessarily engage in ultimately more paths to communicating these things. That involves a lot of things.
So, but we want to expand that discussion about healthy communication. Cool. Anything else? Any other group? Okay. So maybe we could hear the list of like
I actually
amendments.
didn't totally get a lot of yours because it seemed like it was just expanding upon one section
The
of
healthy
the
communications portion. So is there like a tagline or something that's a little more precise?
Yeah. And say it loudly.
I mean, it's trying to get more of a in-depth information, what she was saying. Critique it.
During or after an action, that we are equally outside or inside the movement, or the practices of those. That's the word. Practice, not the actual people. So that we're critical of the practices of the people inside the movement as we are as those trying to critique the practices of those outside the movement, so it doesn't become this forget the rhetorical fallacy that you bring the person into the. So we're not drawing attention to like the people and like you're a bad person. It's more critical of the practices and treating to the practices. So just that term, okay, I suppose in terms of
so being able to critique constructively practices that
that's productive for people that are inside the movement and outside the movement, and it's not about
So basically,
So she's mad.
encouraging
For now.
constructive
Today.
criticism. Okay, cool. So reading these back. So changing the language so that everything that says groups actually also says groups and individuals. So like groups and individuals will not be held accountable for blah 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 blah. So that kind of cover it.
Can everyone hear?
I can be, sorry. Okay. So first amendment brought forward was changing the language so that everywhere it says groups, it also says and individuals. It seemed like it was, I'm not sure if it was actually brought as an amendment, whether or not we want to include an explicit nonviolence clause. It kind of seemed like that there was some debate over whether nonviolence is a thing that we are going to talk about. ICU had a bunch of amendments that we not attach people's names to specific actions or post compromising documentation of others without their consent. Seriously, don't turn people into the cops. We need to have it there twice, I guess. Commitment to accountability, that we have a debriefing space after the 17th to work out these issues that might arise, seek to support and protect each other against state corporate violence to the best of our abilities, with things such as de-arresting, documenting, getting people's names when they're arrested, calling NLG. And then our last one was constructive criticism, so being critical of the practices that are happening within the movement or by groups, but not targeting individuals or criticizing them for specific practices. Did I get that okay?
Yeah.
All right.
So maybe we can just take it like amendment by amendment, and we can do
Also, point of information, I'm at like 2% battery, so minimum might be
okay.
Do you have any
Read it again because it seems like the agreement that we have
adapters?
now has a lot of that stuff in there, but kind of from a different way. You know what I mean? Instead of making it rules, but making them like the way that we read about it. So if maybe these actually are already within the agreement, a lot of the amendments, maybe we could read it again to see the original one, because it's without having to be so explicit and more open, but making everybody feel comfortable.
Okay. I have a question. You have a question? Because I'm not on the spokes list. Has the action agreement been sent via that listserv to people? Has this been distributed to spokes in any other space than being read out loud in this space once a week?
Yeah, the original draft, without the amendments that we just listed, has been on S17 NYC for like 3-4 weeks.
Did this group get told to go there to read it?
I mean, we've announced that in previous meetings, and we've talked about these agreements in every other spokes.
Okay.
So, yeah.
All right. I've had an opportunity to do your homework.
So there's a suggestion that that we read the draft again, so that we have an understanding of, have a clear understanding of what is already there. So can we maybe do that? Are people willing to do that? Okay. I'm really sorry.
Again, under the agreements again, because I don't actually have the agreement.
Sure.
I'm sorry to make you do this. No, I mean, I don't know. We did like break out around it and talk about it.
Okay.
So maybe just one more time.
Alright, so here's the draft.
No more
Groups
time
will
to draft.
respect each other's autonomy to plan their portion of the action as they see fit. Groups will refrain from planning actions that will interfere with the intention of other groups. Groups will seek to maintain healthy, constructive communications up to and including the day of action. Groups will seek to resolve any apparent conflicts by initiating direct contact with each other, trust, respect, and trust and respect. Groups will refrain from disparaging comments about other groups in the press and open OWS meetings. Groups will refrain from marshaling other groups. Groups will refrain from turning other groups into the police. Groups and individuals who take responsibility for intergroup communication or shared resources will be mindful of power dynamics and to observe standing consensus. Groups will respect the agreed upon framework.
So, with that in mind, can we, guys, is the computer dying? Alright, I'll set it off. Okay. Computer dying.
Oh.
Maybe we can take this again. Why don't we get each one out of the way? So I think Vanessa has to write it down. Vanessa has to write it down. I know the first one was really like an easy language trick about adding individuals, so that every line would say groups and individuals, and then we would hold individuals accessible to become
Yeah. So it's like
I'm just gonna go through like as quick as possible.
I'm sorry.
That point.
You're right.
So are there any questions about that point? Adding that point to the Are there any concerns about it? Are there any stand-asides? Stand-asides are like serious objections or personal that would prevent the group from going. Okay, are there any blocks? Cool, great. So one down.
50 more to go, huh?
Yay! Don't rally though.
Okay, Vanessa, you had notes.
Explicit nonviolence clause.
Right. I really I'm going to plead with all of you that we go through the rest of them before getting to the nonviolence, because I don't want people to leave and be disgruntled and not feel like we accomplished it. Yeah, that seems awesome. So what are the other ones?
Don't turn people into the cops.
Don't turn people into the cops. Isn't that already in the? Just have it there for
The draft.
Okay, so now no names to specific actions.
So not having individual names assigned to actions, so it's not to incriminate, right?
Clarifying question: if you're calling for a black bloc, don't put your name on the Facebook page.
So clarifying question. So even if it may not be advisable to, if people are planning their own thing and they want to take credit for it, they're certainly allowed to do that, but then not name other people doing other actions that they heard about without their consent. Was that the gist of what that meant?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So with that clarification, are there any questions? Are there any concerns? Are there any stand-asides, like serious personal objections? Are there any blocks? Okay, cool. Two down. Great. All right. Next.
Yeah, I told you it was awesome.
So maybe just to make it easier, a commitment to support and protect each other against state and corporate violence to the best of our abilities.
Did everybody hear that? Matt, could you repeat it?
Sure. I think it's just better to. A commitment to support and protect each other in the face of state and corporate violence to the best of our abilities.
Okay. Any questions about that?
We're going with the agreements right now. Okay, well now that.
I guess I'm just confused about the word violence. Like, I just feel like we shouldn't really use it. Maybe could we use a different word, like that's less confusing?
Repression.
Destruction.
I read your mind.
I didn't say it.
Okay.
Clarifying question.
So the way that you restated it without the laundry list, is that the way that you intended?
I think it's better to.
Yes.
Okay.
Cool. So, are there any other questions?
We just changed
Any-
violence to repression. Should we restate that?
Okay. So, in case people didn't hear, we will protect each other to the best of our ability against state and corporate repression.
Yes.
Okay. So, any questions about that? Any concerns? Any stand-asides? Nor screaming. Nor all screaming. Are there any blocks? Okay, cool. 3 dogs. Great.
Being committed to constructive criticism.
Okay. Being committed to constructive criticism as an amendment to healthy communication, right? That point about healthy communication.
Healthy communication.
Right. Okay. How do people feel about adding constructive criticism to that? Are there any questions about that?
I do have a question. I feel like if that's in there, again, in all different kinds of positive ways within there, but it sounds like there might be a need maybe for kind of a debriefing maybe and be able to evaluate the way things went. Maybe that might be it, and that's still staying in that kind of vein in a way.
Yeah. So that's actually another point. That's
Okay.
an additional point we're going to get to about specifically having a debriefing. So, yeah.
Someone's organizing the debriefing on Tuesday.
Yeah. So I agree. Okay. So, are there any concerns about adding constructive criticism to the healthy communication section?
Yeah, just our concern is that it's redundant and that another clause includes that, but is broader. So, yeah.
So you want to combine the one that's next clause?
Just to combine basically a commitment to participating in a debriefing following the action.
I think your point was a little different because you wanted to say that we don't criticize individuals, but we're looking at the action as a whole.
Oh.
Correct? Yeah. So it's a little different. It's more like instead of saying this action happened because Matt fucked up, we say this action happened because this AG or this group or the whatever
The way in which they approach the action failed to achieve the kinds of results you were seeking.
Exactly. So we're not singling out people.
so constructive criticism of like processes, practices, structures. That's our interpretation. Okay, do you still have a concern?
Yeah.
Are there any stand-asides?
No.
Are there any blocks?
No blocks.
Hey, 4 down! Yay!
Don't chant.
Right. Okay. Commitment to debriefing. That's the action. Any questions about that?
I have an amendment to it.
Okay. What's your amendment?
That the debriefing session include documentation so that this conversation doesn't have to happen every time there's an action. That the documentation is well thought
It's like
out
and
intentional.
It's not a good point. Just a documentation of minutes, basically. Terminology for it.
Well, I just want someone to like state the actual language of that amendment. Is that the actual language? And also, the documentation thing maybe should be more specific, like a goal of having some takeaway points that people agree on at the end of the debriefing session. I mean, it just seems kind of weird to like fully document a debriefing session.
Do you mean not debriefing after every action, or not repeating the same thing over and over again?
I think what I'm getting from you is that you want like a synthesis, like some kind of like, what did we learn from this action, so that we don't repeat mistakes.
Okay, I thought he meant like minutes. Okay, cool.
It's minutes, but like you're learning from your mistakes.
Are there any concerns about? Maybe we can restate.
So you're still done.
Can we restate?
Just commitment to debriefing.
Commitment to debriefing and
like commitment to accountability. Yeah.
Yes.
And commitment to accountability.
I don't think it's appropriate to include in the agreements, but it would be nice if we're saying part of the agreements or that is a commitment to debriefing, throwing out some time where that will be available, like maybe not in the agreements, but making clear that that's going to happen when you're in the interactive calls, and that we're not going to impose that every agreement have to do that, but that there will be some kind of larger debrief that we can say is happening. Again, not for the agreement, so we don't have to discuss it or vote on it or anything, but
there is one organized for Tuesday. I think.
Yes, there is.
Okay. Can we just Can we just get it in the agreement and then or not and then move on?
This sounds like it could be a part of the roundtable back, sort of. The debrief. Sounds like we're putting.
I don't know. So what I think my interpretation of debrief is like a longer period of intense,
you're right.
reflection.
But still have the
and, like care, self-care, community
to improve.
And constructive criticism of what we've done.
Yeah.
That's what. So it can't be just like a quick report back.
Right.
Like they have been on Wednesday. It has to be like a 3-hour kind of, session.
Would there be space for that? I mean, everyone can't make it to everyone's actions.
Right. Well, right now we're just saying that we are making a commitment to it in the agreements. And I know there are people working on healing and debriefing and all of that. So I think it will happen. Like if we make a commitment to it, I think it will happen. Yeah. Cool. So, are there any concerns about having this commitment to debriefing?
No concerns.
Are there any stand signs?
No stand-asides.
Okay, it's debrief and accountability, right?
And accountability. Sorry, commitment to debrief and accountability.
I didn't mean to stand aside. Is this the final language of the
of the agreement?
Do you have an amendment or something that you'd like to offer to that? Or
I just
no?
want to know if that was the final, if that would be the final language.
Yeah.
With yeah, right, but
With
with
the friendly amendment.
some
Okay.
document.
The final language is that we
Reinstating.
are committed to having debrief action after the action and accountability, and that we will have documentation of that sufficient for reflection and learning. And yeah, that wasn't very concise, but yeah, that's the gist. So are there
No,
any
but
blocks?
report backs is more of like a discussion. Like it's really quick. So a debrief
Great,
would be like,
another one
hey,
down.
you know,
Five
we could have made this
down.
better.
Whew.
Report back, you know.
Okay.
It's like more
That's
of
it.
a
Okay. So, except for so those are all the easy ones, right? And now Mark wants to help to clarify how we're getting into this conversation.
So here's the thing. When it comes to diversity of tactics and the conversations around nonviolence, violence, and our definition of what violence is, this is a much larger conversation. What People's Wall is asking is, what their ask is, that they have an action on S17 from 7 a.m. to 11 a.m. and it is in a marked zone of Wall Street on the map. What they're asking is that from 7 to 11, where they're doing their action, that no sort of violence or specifically property destruction take place during those hours within their action. That is what they're specifically asking. They're not saying that nobody participate in any sort of tactics that is outside of that framework, any outside of those hours or outside of that zone. They're just saying during those hours within that space. And that's what they want.
Do you feel that that's an accurate reflection?
And in fact, I now have language as I haven't just been wasting my time. So if I could suggest the amendment that I was hoping for, it describes that very neatly. So to amend the second, which says that mentions overlapping intentions, I would want to add the sentence concluded following that: overlapping intentions should respect that tactics that escalate police responses in one space will affect groups in different spaces and times, and commit to refrain from initiating force or damaging property in that shared action space and time. So we are effectively saying that there are two actions that are coexisting in time and space. And where the People's Wall is, if you'd be so kind, don't do that.
Okay. So I'm a little confused about your wording. And I actually think that it's more like a logistical and zoning issue, like in what risks people are taking on, more so than an issue about action agreements. And yeah, so I guess I would just I can't imagine, each group should be able to do what they need to do in their space, right? And so what we need to do, we all have maps now, which is awesome. So if we can get a better sense of, what our tone will be, for the groups that we're working with, and then respect the tone of that zone of what that group is doing, then we can get somewhere, right? Then we can actually respect the autonomy of different groups. Yeah. So I guess, and I don't we're not quite there yet. And now that we have all these maps, maybe next week, even though we're getting close to the date, we can actually come in and mark up the map and figure that out together. How do people feel about that?
I think we need more clarity.
sorry, can I try and restate that?
Yeah.
So there may be multiple groups who have the same kind of need as that, and so maybe next week, when we have a lot of these groups are going out and saying, this is our zone, and this is the tone we're trying to achieve, and I agree, I think making explicit, this zone is trying to do this kind of thing, please respect that tone, I think that's important. We may have more clarity about which zones need that kind of explicit language, and then next week, to like cap off the agreements, people can say, like that kind of language, like respecting the tone and space of these things by maintaining X, like whatever the language is I'm not good at, X level of nonviolence in this area, and this area, that's part of our agreement. Does that will clarify the...
I really don't want to have that whole argument for the past 6 months over here right now.
Great. I don't want to have it either.
And we have to
Yeah. So cool. So we're gonna respect each other. We're gonna like draw up the map together. It'll be a lot of fun. Great. So done with agreements. And now, if there are any announcements people have?
Just a question. Mark made a proposal to start the next meeting.
Yeah, I don't read it.
Action agreements.
Mark,
Yeah.
did we consent on that,
No.
or are we putting consents off to next
No, I
week?
think we're putting it off till next week.
Okay,
All
that
right.
just wasn't clear.
So that
It was
other groups who might want to do the same
So we're
thing
gonna
can say,
give
okay,
that
we're
this
going to put out
consent
yoga mats
next
and
week when we
yoga
have
and
better
block this
groups.
intersection, so please don't come set a couch on fire in this
I'm just
intersection.
checking because we were saying we were going to see consents, and now
Sent-
we're not.
Put potpourri on a
So
couch.
we did consent to
On fire,
the
potpourri.
5 amendments to the agreements, and those amendments will be added to the S17 NYC page, so everyone can see, and sent things as soon as possible. And next week we'll draft the map and figure out zones and that sort of thing. You had your hand up.
I just wanted Mark to restate that we were restarting. I do have an announcement,
Oh.
but I didn't want everybody.
We'll start
to
the next meeting with the discussion on action agreements.
Yeah. Movie night at the Freedom Cage, 12 o'clock.
Sorry?
Movie night at the Freedom Cage.
Oh.
Movie night at the Freedom Cage, 12 o'clock.
Chepe?
I came with a bunch of outreach materials. I'm almost done with them, but I have 20 posters left of the, these are fairly large ones, 17 by 22. I'm not going to walk away with them.
Archives.
So somebody else, no, not the archives.
One.
We will produce more for you. We will produce more for you. The rest, these are all for outreach. Someone else is taking them. I'm not. I'm setting them down right there.
So we're basically wrapping this all up.
I'm gonna do Dicey and then Sam and then Vincent.
Like, Amy
Yeah,
got
but
them right.
you
Like,
didn't speak. They both spoke a lot, so I don't know. I'm just
So Sean just wanted me to say that he made a listserv for the comms conversation. So anybody who wants to help figure out what we're gonna do with comms.
So anyway, these are the outreach things. Look at how cool it is. I'm totally stealing one. Yes, fuck outreach. What? Did I just say that out loud on your stream? Look how awesome it is. Oh, it's so beautiful. The anniversary of September 17. Have your compass out.
I know that there's a lot of like questions about and I just want to be clear about the fact that I just filled that role. And
Cleavage. What? What did you say?
I want to be clear about the way that happened and the function of it. So what just happened was the people in there called the police and said there's a rally going on and we want them to go. The police came and two of the officers started coming towards us. The woman started saying, hey, everyone needs to clear out of here right now. And I jumped in front of her very friendly because in that moment, I identified that the needs of the group were to continue being able to meet and have this conversation and not engage with the police. And in the interest of that, I decided to engage the police officer pretty much by myself. It's nice to have that as an agreement, and have someone like you know is going to do that and have agreed that like that's something we want. Because I've done that role before, I wasn't negotiating on behalf of this group. I was trying to like block and figure out what's going on.
So basically, like, she just reiterating. Well, look at this poster. Very nice. Let me just roll that out for you guys. It's pretty much, comprehensively done. Until next week. Yeah. Nice, right? Look, little like map quests on the markers. Very neat.
Running back and forth between me and the facilitators, gathering information from both and being able to communicate it back and forth. So a lot of times when you have police liaisons, it's not just one person doing that job. There's a runner in between to keep each other.
What's the map posted? No, it's just like looks like make it map quest style, but it's just like another September 17.
Just to throw out there, that is a role that sometimes, for the purposes of like being able to maintain space, it is useful to have. We don't usually have that at Occupy. That's also worked out fine. But just to be explicit that that's what happened, and that maybe in the future it would be useful for these kind of gatherings to say whether we want to have a police liaison and we want someone to jump into that role, or whether we want the police officer to come up,
Yeah, I thought the postage was great.
crowd,
Cool.
and then we'll see what happens from there. But just to like recognize that that's a possibility and make it clear to us. It seems like we don't have time for them right now because people are already leaving. We're about at like a third of what we were, and it's already getting to 10. But just throwing that out there is like still.
I do want to point out that you're sort of like an employee delaying police liaison. That you weren't like necessarily negotiating.
These are the 8x10 flyers for outreach style. It's like a smaller version of the poster that I showed you earlier. And I guess the dimension of Zuccotti. It's really neat. So that's different.
Other announcements? So I'm here from the Free University. We held one on May Day. It's in Madison Square Park. It's sort of to add education, make education free. We have these flyers. It's happening 18th to 22nd. So the idea is that this is happening after the 17th, and it's like a nice way for people to like come to something that's fairly low police, low stakes, and like come together and co-educate and stuff like that. There are flyers over there, so if you could hang one wherever you're hanging your S17 flyer, that would be awesome. And if you want to get involved, you can talk to me. Manissa. I'm Manissa.
Hey, I'm Casper. I'm also helping set up a group of people from live streams all together, and like it's gonna be a giant working collective. But if you guys need to have your action streamed and have that kind of visual surveillance on you with one of our Occupy people, let me know on OWS Casper@gmail, and it's gonna go through Global Rev and various other like Ustream and United something stream. So just like do that, because it'll be easier as a collective to have your documentation for yourselves and be protected. With also live tweeters.
Is that OWS live tweet?
Yeah, I got them. They just emailed me, and I have like a whole meeting with them now.
So the Debt Resistors Operations Manual is going to be coming out soon. It's a project of Strike Debt, written by Anonymous Collective of Debt Resistors. And we're going to have a launch party September 15th, that Saturday, at 7:30 p.m. at Judson. We'll have like a debtors assembly there, speak out for people to talk about all the ways in which debt affects us. We'll have people who may or may not have contributed to this anonymous manual, highlighting some of the
Totally new live streams. You crazy? Document.
The premise is contemplating individual and collective forms of resistance to the debt system. So Saturday, September 15th, 7:30 at Judson.
Also, to add to that, Sunday, there's Life After Debt. That's an amazing idea. What would that look like? There's an assembly at 1:30 to strike debt, and then there's a debt burning, and cake, lemonade, and a jazz band apparently at 4 at East River State Park. So, it's this Sunday.
So they're pretty much like dispersing slowly. They're saying their report backs announcements, very much. All announcements.
I'm with Sally, so I remembered it. Tomorrow there's going to be a march. It's a Labor Day march. We've been invited to show up at 10 o'clock at 45th Street and Madison and march with people. We're going to be handing out September 17th flyers to a whole lot of people. So if you want to help flyer, show up.
That's flyers.
10 o'clock, 45th Street and Madison.
I found this pin. It says all my heroes have FBI files. That's funny. Look at iPhone. So we're done.
There's flyers here.
There's flyers. You know what I suggest you give it to Trinity.
Yeah, so you know what? I'm gonna actually use whatever's left over. I did give them some as well.
Oh, awesome.
Oh, yeah, totally. Yeah. And
So they're, yeah. And I also we have to have like a damn, like, we never had a tech op meeting. We've just been like throwing in emails and like discussing that style.
Do what?
Tech op meetings.
Hopefully we're gonna have like an Occupy.net conference call starting on the 17th. Send me an email about the live streaming because I put together, or I coordinated some people putting together a big list. So it's actually on the wiki. There's a huge list of live streamers and their Twitter handles. And they did that through InterOccupy and through Occupy or through Store.
Okay.
So there's a bunch of folks available.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are coming back, like, you know, Lenzo and everyone. Like, I guess they're on that stream as well.
I imagine some of them are, and yeah, so it's just like there's a resource for you.
Okay.
And, you know Matt, right? Matt. Yeah. I had him. I guess he's down at DNC. I had him kind of coordinating stuff, but let me know anything you need.
Yeah, I mean, I cut out, but yeah, thanks for watching. It's very much it's over. I hope everyone enjoyed the stream. Thank you for watching. Look me up on OWS_Casper, and there'll be more follow-ups. Also, look me up on OWS_Casper@gmail.com. If you're people who are coming down to NYC on September 17, look me up. I will try to hook you up with a sling bag if you need one. If you don't, please, do not take that you don't need, because there's other people who are needed. And any other resources that you might have, SIS is still there. And the UPS, I will send out the link at one point at a time, probably tomorrow, or later tomorrow. And we'll establish that. I can hopefully donate material that could help the movement. All right, thank you for watching, and I wish you all the best. And until next action, peace.